As tensions between the world's superpowers deepen, a new and largely unseen battlefield is emerging. This isn't about chips, trade, or military bases. It's about oil, the invisible fuel of modern power. Today, we'll explore how the United States and China are quietly waging a new kind of war, one fought not with weapons, but with barrels of crude. Before we begin, what do you think drives global power more today? Technology or energy? Let us know in the comments below. Truth 40. A new confrontation is quietly emerging between the world's two leading powers, the United States and China. But this time it's not about tariffs, semiconductors, or military tensions. It's an energy war, a global contest for oil, the lifeblood of modern economies, and the backbone of every nation's military machine. In this struggle, oil is no longer just a commodity, it's a strategic weapon defining global influence and power. Under President Donald Trump, the United States has intensified its strategy to secure control over key oil reserves across the world's top producing nations. Meanwhile, China, with a far quieter yet equally calculated approach, has been amassing massive oil reserves, a move that could reshape the global balance of energy power. By taking advantage of low oil prices, Beijing not only strengthens its own economic resilience, but also positions itself as a dominant player in the global energy arena. This isn't just a race for resources, it's a battle for influence, for global leverage, and for long-term strategic dominance. The key question now, can the United States maintain its supremacy while China steadily expands its reach? Or will Beijing's rise mark the beginning of a new global order in the energy world? Washington's latest focus has turned toward Venezuela, a nation that lies at the heart of the world's oil-rich region. Venezuela not only holds vast crude reserves, but remains among the top oil producers globally. Its extraction costs are among the lowest in the world, roughly $20 per barrel compared to around $50 for US shale oil, giving it a crucial competitive edge. However, the relationship between Washington and Caracas has long been fraught with tension. For decades, Western oil corporations reaped massive profits from Venezuela's abundant oil fields, while local citizens received only a fraction of the revenue. This inequality fueled political unrest, and in 1999, Hugo Chavez rose to power, moving to nationalize the country's oil industry and reclaim control of national resources from foreign companies. Chavez's policies enabled Venezuela to invest heavily in social programs, including free housing, healthcare, and education, funded by oil profits. But the heavy dependence on crude exports, accounting for over 80% of national income, left the economy dangerously exposed. When global oil prices collapsed in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, the country plunged into crisis. Tight sanctions from the US and its Western allies crippled Venezuela's economy, preventing it from maintaining oil infrastructure or expanding production. At the same time, state subsidies and import reliance, once sustainable during oil booms, became impossible to maintain. As discontent grew, the United States saw an opportunity to expand its strategic reach in the region it long considered its backyard. Amid Venezuela's instability, Washington intensified diplomatic pressure. The Trump administration declared Nicolas Maduro's presidency illegitimate, offered a $15 million reward for his capture, and deployed naval assets off Venezuela's coast, signaling readiness to intervene if the situation deteriorated further. This campaign reflected a broader strategy to reassert U.S. influence over global oil reserves. After Venezuela, Washington's attention turned toward Nigeria, Africa's energy powerhouse. Nigeria's light Bonny crude is highly valued for its quality and low refining cost, making it a favorite for U.S. refineries. However, Nigeria's growing ties with other powers, particularly China and the United Kingdom, have begun to reshape Africa's energy map. China has pledged over $20 billion in strategic investments across Nigeria's key sectors, from agriculture and steel to energy and mining. This move aligns with Beijing's long-term plan to expand its economic and political footprint across Africa. In response, the Trump administration raised human rights concerns in Nigeria, citing the persecution of Christian communities, though no conclusive evidence was presented. Analysts suggest this was part of a broader narrative to justify increased U.S. involvement in the region. Beyond Africa, other nations have also become focal points in Washington's energy agenda. Iran, home to the world's fourth largest oil reserves, holds about 157 billion barrels, making it a key player in any global energy equation. U.S. sanctions and regional tensions, however, have complicated Washington's ability to influence Tehran's oil sector. Iraq, with the fifth largest proven reserves, remains another vital component of U.S. strategy. Although its crude is heavier and costlier to refine, Iraq continues to play a pivotal role in global energy stability. Since the 2003 invasion, the U.S. has maintained a lasting military presence there, ensuring continued leverage over the country's oil output. Even Canada, with its vast oil sands in Alberta and over 170 billion barrels in reserves, remains central to U.S. energy calculations. While formal political integration with Canada is unlikely, Washington continues to rely heavily on Canadian oil imports. This close interdependence underscores North America's importance in the broader U.S. strategy to secure energy dominance in an increasingly competitive world. Across the Pacific, China is executing its own version of an oil strategy, one focused on accumulation and long-term security. By 2025, despite relatively stable domestic fuel demand, China has been dramatically expanding its oil stockpiles. Energy analysts estimate the country now stores around 1 million barrels per day, roughly 135,000 tons, marking a historic high. Most of this oil is not for consumption, but for strategic reserve. Chinese private firms, particularly in provinces like Shandong, continue to purchase discounted oil from Iran and Russia, both facing Western sanctions. This effort is reinforced by China's new national energy law, introduced in January 2025, which encourages private companies to build reserves and strengthens the country's overall energy security framework. Beijing has also announced plans to construct 11 new storage facilities within the next 2 years, expanding total capacity to 169 million barrels. Its long-term goal, to maintain reserves equivalent to 6 months of oil imports, about 2 billion barrels in total. By purchasing crude at relatively low prices, between $60 and $70 per barrel, China reduces costs while safeguarding against potential disruptions caused by regional instability. With this growing reserve, China is not just ensuring energy security, it's acquiring leverage. Beijing could, in theory, influence global oil prices and participate more directly in shaping international energy decisions. Such a move would inevitably challenge the dominance of the United States, whose influence has long relied on both its control of global oil flows and the central role of the US dollar in global energy trade. Moreover, China's increasing purchases from sanctioned nations like Iran and Russia deepen Washington's concerns. These transactions not only help Beijing secure cheap oil, but also build stronger alliances with nations marginalized by the West, giving China new geopolitical leverage in regions such as the Middle East and Eastern Europe. As the competition for oil intensifies, tensions between Washington and Beijing are set to grow. This contest is no longer just economic, it's strategic. If China continues to build vast oil reserves and extend its influence across global markets, maintaining U.S. dominance may become increasingly difficult. The world could be entering a new era, an energy Cold War, where oil once again becomes the ultimate measure of global power. Will the United States succeed in preserving its leadership? Or will China's quiet but calculated oil strategy redefine the global order? Only time and the next barrel of oil will tell. As this global oil chessboard continues to unfold, one question remains. Will the United States keep its grip on the world's energy system? Or will China's silent oil strategy shift the balance of power for decades to come? The future of global leadership may depend not on politics or armies, but on who controls the flow of energy. What's your take? Is the world entering a new energy Cold War? And who do you believe will come out on top? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth global analysis every week.